welcome to a sound video. Yeah, yesterday I forgot to turn on my mic, as you could see in the picture. That was great. I normally disconnect it at night. I just kind of have a feeling of being creeped out by having a mic. I know like my phone has a mic, but I don't know. Like having a mic that picks up so much stuff around my house, in case you're doing some other activities you don't want to maybe be heard. Anyway, so instead of playing a new game, I'm gonna go over the games today, and I'm gonna play one more game of that league so we can watch that. So first of all, I gotta go through the list, so I could not be heard for the first 4 minutes of the video. Well, for the whole video, but the first 4 minutes, I guess, is the most important talking. So this is the list. So I made some changes based on what I learned playing the non-ancient settings version and playing the beginner's version I played the other day, which actually was quite the interesting feeling, honestly. So anyway, another thing, I mean, the beginner's version and the mono green version is almost the same. It's just basically a beginner's league or whatever, the workers league. So the changes I made basically are mostly around the mana base. I cut 1 inch steering series for an additional Llanowar Reborn. The idea of this is that we're not changing the amount of untap sources we have. We still have 20 untap sources, and Llanowar Reborn has been really impressive lately. The extra counter comes in so many times, like clutch so many times. Yeah, I mean, with animation model it works great. It just has, it's a really, really great card, and I've been really impressed so far. So I just would like to play 3. And with Llanowar Reborn, I was about to cut 1 animation module to do something else, maybe with it, maybe a third metallic mimic, but the animation model Llanowar Reborn, it's like bread and butter, peanut butter, and jelly. I don't know, all those things that go well together. So yeah, I'm giving them a 3. The other change I made is I cut 2 forests and 1 Darksteel Citadel, and this is just to try. Not impressed with the Blinkmoth Nexus so far, but we'll see. Yeah, the one Blinkmoth Nexus should be good against Eldrazi, should be good against Control, because they wipe the board, your board, you get a 20 counters on the Ozolith, then you make your Blinkmoth and you go for it, right? Cavern of Souls is also really great against Control, pretty good against Cavern of Souls, pretty good against Chalice of the Void as well, because we can just avoid, like, we can play workers through Chalice on 1, and we can play the rest of our spells through Chalice on 2, not Arcbound Ravager. A nice interaction is that if we have fewer green sources in this case, right? So, but I could feel that in the non-ancient things that we basically have like less green sources. We have 1 less green source than this. We're still able to cast Hardened Scales on curve almost every time. So maybe it's not necessary to have so many 4-6 forests, could be fine. And also right now I'm expecting to see a bit less Field of Ruin, since Arcbound Worker is no longer legal. So people cannot play 3 colors and 4 Fields of Ruin. Oh, what a feeling. So in that case, then we don't need that many basic forests, right? So that's a kind of an update 2 times. Yeah, basically with the Cavern of Souls, you can name green, you can name Beast, and basically then you can cast Arcbound Ravager, not be countered, and you can, interestingly and very maybe importantly, cast Gemrazer from the sideboard uncounterably. And I think that could be coming handy against the Stoneforge decks. I don't even know if there's a Stoneforge expert watching. Do Stoneforge players side out Stoneforge Mystic in this matchup? I feel I've been bringing in a lot of Dismembers and a lot of Gemrazers. Maybe on the draw they do. I don't know. I just been. I don't know. I feel like I've been burning a lot of hate, and it has been sitting in my hand quite a lot. So anyway, Gemrazer can be used to destroy artifacts uncounterably with Cavern of Souls, which is really, really cool. And then you get like a big beast. Yeah. That is basically this. I'm still running the Crystalline Giant. I'm not sure if it's better. Scrapyard Combiner. It's definitely an uptick on bolts. There's a lot of prowess decks, and even I played against some Jeskai the other day. So maybe a 3 toughness, 3 CMC, 3 toughness creature is not what you want to be doing right now in Modern. Then could go semester going down 1 of these, changing it for Scrapyard Combiner and adding 1 Metallic Mimic, something of that kind. But anyway, I'll keep on trying it, just getting 1, like, if you get like a Hexproof counter, a Death Touch counter, a Lifelink counter, can really swing some matches. And it's a very, it's a hard threat for opponents to deal with, because they don't know what's he gonna do. Then onto the sideboard, I'm keeping the 4 pieces of Graveyard Hate. We played against Dredge in this league already, and I expect to see a lot of Graveyard decks coming up. It's just they're just good decks, they got this upgrade on this this goal that they can bring back when they gain life. And I mean, I know how I feel about that, because it feels like it's more resilient but less aggressive. But that's how I feel about it. I feel like I like this card a lot. This kind of like Lightning Helix from the graveyard, which I think is a good card. But this goal, I mean, there were some games where I was like at 10 life, and if they had like 3 blockers in the graveyard, they can kill you immediately. And also one of the problems is that when goal comes in the end phase, surprised amalgams. I mean, I guess that's a problem and a benefit, depending on the matchup. Surprised amalgams will not come in that end phase, they will come in the next end phase, so your opponent's end phase if you're playing Dredge. I guess that protects them against Anger of the Gods. So, you know, maybe it's even an advantage. I don't know, but for our sake, at least for pieces of graveyard hate are important. And I'm still torn between bringing or not bringing the Relic of Progenitus versus Stoneforge decks, but it feels like with Bind I will for sure bring it because I have Uro. But I think like Mystic Sanctuary is just so strong. I mean, I know it's stupid because it's a land and it's stupid, but Mystic Sanctuary is just so strong right now that basically Relic of Progenitus is kind of the only way to stay even further. So this is what happens versus the Stoneblade decks or Bundle decks or whatever. If you go into a top deck situation, I've noticed this a lot of time. We know we trade resources, so we have like very few resources left, and we still have some sort of grinding going on. Maybe we have an animation module, we have a feature or whatever. And I would think at that point I would feel pretty confident. Like, okay, we have less cards, but we have maybe an animation module left, and we have maybe we just need a way to put 1/1 counters on, and we can kind of go ham. And since they have gotten the Mystic Sanctuary, it feels that you almost always lose the situations, because almost all the cards in their deck at that point are a life spell. So if they draw a land, fetch land, they can look for Mystic Sanctuary and basically use, like, return any of the spells they have on their graveyard, which, you know, they'll get the bearer. Right, so they will get Path or Cryptic or whatever, or Armage's Charm, and then from there they very rapidly go back into the game, right? Because back in the good old days of not having Mystic Sanctuary, around half the deck was kind of a dead draw at that point, a bit less than half. So you could be even, you know, if I draw Forest when I have already 6 cards into play, lands into play, it's a dead draw. That's why we play the Nurturing Peatland. But if they draw a fetch one, then they get Mystic Sanctuary, and then they're basically back in business, right? Because if they get a Cryptic Command or Armage's Charm on top, if they get, let's say, Cryptic Command, then I draw nothing. Then they draw a Cryptic Command. Then let's say I draw a spell. I cast it, or I don't cast it. I don't know what is worse. Then they counter draw. So my good spell has been countered, and they draw cards. So they have now 2 cards in hand, and they have basically, we have like basically 50% chance of drawing something relevant, and they already have 2 cards in hand. They'll draw a 3rd card. And, you know, they can also draw another line to get another Mystic Sanctuary. So, you know, that really is like, yeah, quite the card Mystic Sanctuary. So I think Relic of Progenitus is still worth bringing in against Stoneforge Mystics decks. Even though they don't have that much graveyard going on, I think just preventing this brutal top decks in they call them Sanctuary is worth it. And it can stop, you know, Snapcaster Mage and other cards. 3 Dismembers for a creature matchups. I was about to go to 4, but I decided to keep it at 3. Also good against Stoneforge decks, I think. 2 Veils of Summer. I changed the card for the Veil of Summer just because the control deck of choice right now plays Stoneforge Mystic, and they're much better pressuring Planeswalkers. So, like ban Snowblade of the before Arcbound Worker was terrible at pressuring Planeswalkers. They only had like Icewind Coral. So now they actually have. They could have Icewind Coral, but they have like the Battle Skull. They have the swords. So all of a sudden, Karn, it's much harder to stick. 3 Gemrazer instead of the Nature's Claims for what I explained, you know, and actually this goes over Chalice of the Void on 1. So you can destroy the Chalice. It can make a creature and the construct that you have a non-construct or a non-artifact, because you, for example, you have a Ballista with 2 counters on. You can play a Gemrazer, put it on top of the Ballista, and then you will have basically a 6/6 or a 4/4 with 2+1/1 counters on that still have the Walking Ballista abilities, but it's not an artifact, right? So then basically you can attack through a lot of the creatures the opponent has. You can activate the Ballista to kill Karns. Yeah, you can do all sorts of things. So you can kill, for example, you can kill Collector Roof, stuff like this. So it's really a cool card. Probably I would bring in if they have Blood Moon. I don't know. 1 Damping Sphere only for the Green Tron matchup, Ad Nauseam, all those cards. I mean, I don't see those matchups a lot right now, so I'm not respecting them too much. I prefer to bring Torpor Orbs for what I think is a deck I should be seeing more play, which is Amulet Titan and Goblins and Humans. So all these decks, and even graveyard decks like Dredge get with host by Torpor Orb, maybe on not to bring 2 but to bring 1. But the Damping Sphere just seems that it hurts us a lot also. We always want to play 2 spells a turn as soon as possible. So playing Damping Sphere, it needs to be sort of like unsurmountable. And you know, Thorn, even Green Tron, but Ad Nauseam, Titan, they all can win through the Damping Sphere, right? But Torpor Orb really slows the Titan decks down and really slows down the Goblins decks, and I think those matches will be popular. So yeah, that is a deck. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you could hear me this time around. I can see, you know, there's an audio mixer and OBS is actually recording sound, which is amazing. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'm gonna go back and watch the replays now, kind of comment them around 10 minutes so you can get a bit of my thoughts. And then I will put the time marks. I've been pretty bad at that lately. I'll put the time marks down below, so if you watch those games already, you can just skip to the next games I'll be playing shortly. Hello and welcome to match 1 of yesterday, which I was muted, and we were playing against Dredge. We didn't know this at this point, but I think this hand is worth keeping anyway. Send me a chat message right now. Ah, that was the other. Oh, you can tweet to tell me I send me a chat message. Hi, chat. Hi. Game log. There you go. Now we have a better view. Do you guys like the chat on or not? Let me know down below. Anyway, we are playing against Dredge. They don't have the most explosive hand. They mulligan quite a lot, and we played the animation module. Pass the turn. Opponent just started with Life from the Loam, getting 1 land by, which is terrible. I always like to play Llanowar Reborn first, so we know we have access to it, and we make a servo anyway. Mason doesn't go as wide as playing the Arcbound Worker, but I like to have access to the extra counter. So now they play the Merchant of the Veil. We don't put the counters on the Llanowar Reborn on, and then we draw Hardened Scales, which is our namesake card. And then you can see here, much more stronger to play this now, to Worker now, because we get the extra counter. I like my play. I mean, they had a really slow start. Like they had 1 Narcomoeba there. Sometimes Dredge just self-destroys. I mean, actually, and I say sometimes, but I feel like almost in every match, there's 1 game that's almost free against Dredge because we are so good at killing people. Like now I'm going for an lean. I know you can see it, but they're actually dead on board. Well, they didn't know, but they were dead on board because we can just play the Ravager, the Walker. Make a bunch. They only have 2 blockers basically, so we attack with everything. They will block and we move everything to the. Everything, I mean, I hate the animation module there because it's a million times. Not use it. So just play the Hangarback. We move the counters onto the Hangarback, and then we just attack with the 2 servos and the Worker. That was the nice thing of playing the Llanowar Reborn because, like, it would have been the same anyway, but it allowed us to have the Llanowar Reborn in play and have 4 mana on turn 4, which you cannot do if you play 4, right? So they block here, I eat everything, move the counters to the Hangarback. You always want to do that, it gives you extra counters, so you always want to move the Workers counters to the Hangarback counter, to the Hangarback, and then here they can see, they see a million top tiers and they see what's up, right? This will be 14 counters plus 8, that's 22 plus. Will come here, will be 23, so it was a 24 servo. I mean, quite long way that servo has come from the factories of Calabash. Let's go to play game 2. This I decided to. It's hard to see the sideboard, but I brought in most of the graveyard hate. I cut 1 animation module, cut the Crystalline Giants, cut 1 Throne of Geth, I think. And why wouldn't this start? And I brought in 1 Torpor Orb, all 4 graveyard hate pieces. And this hand, the reason I kept it is because I know that they're playing Leyline of the Void, and they're actually playing Leyline of the Void. I don't know why this doesn't respond, but they play Leyline of the Void on Dredge, and actually Leyline of the Void is a pretty hard card for us to deal with. The Gemrazer can deal with it, so they also can block Narcomoebas. It's bigger than all their creatures, so I think Gemrazer is a fine card to bring in. I think I only brought like 1 or 2. So Star Interesting is not the best start. They are getting quite the dredging going. Range Strings can find you your hate pieces. And here I decided to play the Torpor Orb because I'm afraid that, because they can dredge and they can, I don't know why they didn't put cards in their upkeep in this. I think you should always try, by the way. So they get a bunch of cards. I mean, you can see all the Spice Amalgams they got a trigger without the Torpor Orb, so we probably would be pretty close to dying. But we're not able to find. I found a Grafdigger Skates there, and here's probably like the misplay of the game. At this point, you know, you cannot contain Dredge forever. They will eventually find those Ancient Grudges, because you cannot stop the dredging, right? They will find the Ancient Grudges. They will draw those Nature's Claims. They can even pick up the Blast Zone, right, and kill the Torpor Orb. So I think I should not have gotten the Grafdigger Skates here. Instead, I should have started attacking. Like maybe play Worker and play maybe the Ancient Things, look for a threat, play the Ozolith, play the Worker, and that would be probably better play. Because you can see here, it's something that will happen like when you go so much on it. Like I haven't done anything in 3 turns. Basically, I just spin my wheels with the Ancient Things, play some hate cards. But they still have a 3-1 and a 1-1. They find the Ancient Grudge, they draw the Ancient Grudge, which is, you know, whatever. Maybe we would have lost if we didn't play the Grafdigger Skate. But see, when they're using the Grafdigger Skate, like when they're Ancient, when they're Ancient Grudging, if the Ancient Grudge is Torpor Orb, it's the same situation, right? And then we'll still have, at least we'd have a board. We could maybe block this guy. But here we're not having a board, and we just, yeah, we're a bit slow. We're just like getting things on the battlefield, and what happens is, because they will Ancient Grudge, probably, no, they get life from the loam. They will Ancient Grudge in our end step. Then we have a very hard unsealed. All these things could have been done the turn before. We'll have a very hard time winning here. Yes, they will bring in basically a million creatures from the graveyard, and they're at 21. We're at 12 thanks to Gripping Kill. With our second Ozolith, which is never great. I'm torn between taking one Ozolith out in this fast match, in this Dredge matchup post board, because it gets quite grindy afterboard. Maybe it's worth it to get one out, but it's really strong when you have it. Also dies to Blast Zone, so I know, choices. I think here we could have won the game if we had drawn the Arcbound Ravager. Because here you can see, right, they get this 3 silver mode ghosts, golds, and then that triggers the 3 priced amalgams. So I think if I had drawn Ravager here, I would have won, but I don't, and you know, just give up. No way we can stop 18 power next turn. So let's see, going in game 3. So basically, what you can learn that is that, you know, 1 hate piece is enough against Dredge. So you want 1 hate piece, and then kind of start building your board trying to kill them. You can't hold them up forever, especially with how well in jar. And we don't have well in jar on the deck. So we're now in the play. I'm a bit happy. I mulligan the hand, I snap it, because it's like 4 lands that don't produce green, and you know you always want to catch your Hardened Scales if you draw it, and yeah, a lot of land. So here I think I put back, I don't know what, Ancient Strings. Because yeah, not the best card turn 1, and then, you know, I start with a Relic because I was like, okay, if they put something in the graveyard, I will exile it. So I play the animation model and I hold up the Relic because I'm afraid they have like a brutal start, but they don't put anything dredgeable. I should have one thing, but when they put these 2 lines, I should just exile one of them, because now they can exile this Cathartic Reunion, and they will never, you know, they can never get this back, and they can steal life from the loam for this. So I should exile one of the lines. That probably just, you know, it's always better to give less choices to your opponent. So if they want to exile, like, let me explain that for a second. So let's say if I do it now, like I did when I did it. If they want to exile the land, they can do it. But if they also can exile the Cathartic Reunion if they want. But if you do it before, they're forced into the decision. And when in doubt, you should always force your opponent into a decision. You shouldn't let them choose. Because if they can choose, then maybe there's an upside to what they're choosing, right? And in this case, there is an upside. So it's like actual misplay, because they exile the Cathartic Reunion, now they have 3 lands, so they can get 3 lands back with life from the loam. So misplay there. They got the rule back, getting some life. We exile one of the lands, so we could have like, they could have only 1 land left here, which is actually, I mean, the more I see it, that's like a pretty big mistake what I did there. And I say no to the animation module because an ending beast with the Cavern of Souls, just in case we draw the Gemrazer, then we'll have double green to play it. Maybe we could destroy one of the shield horns, or if they cast a ley line. But yeah, I just want to keep up the Relic. They have 2 shield horns this upkeep, so that means I can put 4 cards there and then can Dredge. So I want to make sure that they cannot just go ham on us. And they get their no Dredger, so I decide not to blow it. And just wait for a Cathartic Reunion or something. And then here they go life from the loam, and I just let them do it because Yeah, they still have one Sheerhorn activation, so they can still get things in the graveyard. So here I make a servo, and I hold on Nurturing Peatland. There's no need to pay life if you're not gonna use it, right? So most likely we end up paying life anyway, but it's better to do it as late as possible. Now, here is when I decided to exile because, well, I couldn't, because they had, sorry, I couldn't get it to stop fast enough. But they have like one of these Lightning Helix things, they had an Narcomoeba, and they had the Rule. So what they could do is they get an Narcomoeba back, they Lightning Helix one of our creatures, probably the Ravager, and then, it's not Lightning Helix, I don't know the name of it. And then they get back another silver goal, and if they have some more dredging to do, it could get out of control. So I decided to do that there. Thankfully, they don't mill anything with the Sheerhorn, and basically. So they attack, and I will of course block with a servo and sacrifice it as a classic play. We cannot make more servos, but that's okay. We have 13. Opponent has 4 cards in hand. This took me a long time, this game, so I guess it's kind of nice to see it like fast. Then they Life from the Loam for 1 land, which is good for us. That's Metallic Mimic, and here, yeah, I just have to attack, put some pressure on the life total. You need to kill them eventually. They go black, they draw a card, so that actually was a misplay as well. I mean, I don't know if it's a misplay, but because we could always shoot down an Narcomoeba or something, but or we could always palm the Ballista or something, but they could have gotten an Narcomoeba and then they could block, and it would have been pretty. I'm not super bad, but anyway. So we get the Metallic Mimic on servo, and I decided to play a Ravager and make a 2/2 servo. Alive, but yeah. And the reason I did this, I was debating whether to play only the Metallic Mimic, but I decided, and I make a servo through the Blinkmoth Nexus, but I decided to give all my lands, and yeah, here they sacrifice, and it's fine. We have double Ravager. I spread the counters out, so I put, I sacrifice with 1 Ravager, and I put the counters on the Ballista, so now they're not so sure what to target anymore with the second Ancient Grudge. Kind of both are bad. Now they could, of course, flash it back. They flash back on the Ravager, and I put the counters on the Mimic, same reason. If they have another hate card, if I put everything on the Ballista and they destroy it, it's kind of bad, but now we have a 4/3, which is quite sizable. So that's why I decided to do that. And now they Life from the Loam again, getting a line back. I think this is almost over. The Relic of Progenitus is really great. We can exile probably their only Dredger, and from there we attack, we put a lot of life, and yeah, here they just concede. But what I would have done is let them dredge, and if they hit really hard, then I exile. If they don't, then I just keep my relic, and basically at the end of turn I could put 2 counters over, 1 counter over here, make a servo, and attack for lethal the turn after, right? So that was the first round. I'll see you for round 2 of this league replay with sound. Hello and welcome to the loading game 2. So this was match 2 of the league. I uploaded yesterday without sound, and we're playing against this BZA. We played against this guy the other day, or girl, I don't know, or person in general. And they are on the Stoneforge Mystic play, and I saw this and I immediately thought about the Stoneforge, and I decided to go for the most grindy option, which is to try to get all these 1-drops underneath them. Killer Ruin, Stoneforge Mystic, but with Ballista we can kill the Stoneforge Mystic, which is super nice, and double skills of course. This is the best draw possible, drawing a land there. So we just play the Ballista, make a servo. Shoot down the Stoneforge Mystic, that's fantastic. They look for Battle Skull, but I mean, we have a very strong start with the double Hardened Scales. The line heal is, but I just shoot them and then they don't get life, which is good. They have no colored mana there. I attack them. Here they find another Lightning Helix, I think, to kill the Crystalline Giant, but that's no problem because then we draw land, we play the Ravager, and we have a kill with the Inkmoth. Pretty straightforward kill with the Inkmoth. So basically, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess they did it there because they could. I don't know exactly why they did Lightning Helix on their main phase. They were afraid of getting more counters on, but whatever. That was a game. Pretty straightforward. We just killed them with a 12/12. Yeah, 12/12 in like a creature. Oh, shit. I always expect it to start like automatically. Anyway, game 2, you probably seen this game 3, so I don't know. But game 2, I keep the same because it has an animation module, and I was like, okay, we have the tools, we're on the draw, and we have the tools to deal with like Stoneforge Mystic, which is kind of the way we lose the matchup, I feel. You know, you can Dismember it, we can Gemrazer the Battle Skull. I was like, okay, this is good, this is a good hand, but then, you know, it took a turn for the different. So they look for the Triumph, and they're playing Jeskai, as I said before. So as well, play the second animation module. I'm still like, okay, they will play the Stoneforge Mystic and I'll Dismember it, but no, they don't play anything. It's interesting. I play another 4, and I just play, I play here the Hangarback, get Spellsnare, really Spellsnare like last turn as well, but at least I hold on the Dismember for Stoneforge. But they don't play the Stoneforge. They will just, what are they doing there? They are braiding one animation model. So that's a good thing with Jeskai, they have a braid. I knew this because I found the Decklist online pretty much that they're playing. Try to grind of this player. I mean, Cavern of Souls is great because we can name it and as a Gemrazer being countered. Maybe I should have just done that. You know, I think I was being a bit too passive here, holding on to the Gemrazer for that eventual Battle Skull kill. Maybe they just sided out the Gemrazer and they added the Semillage Detections and the Braids. I mean, the Stoneforge Mystic. To me, last time I should just play Gemrazer as a 4/4. It dodges Bolt. It only doesn't dodge Path, which they could have, but anyway, I named here Beast with Arcbound Ravager, and I played, which is fantastic, but then opponent is on the path to exile, I remember correctly. So yeah, we find a servo, and we got it path. So the Gemrazer could probably got to be in path as well. Well, here I was like, okay, now they're gonna play the Stoneforge Mystic now, and they don't. So I don't know. They offered me a trade. I offered the trade next turn with the servo. I should just use this as member to kill the Snapcaster Mage now in retrospect, but here, you know, the thing starts with this deck that basically they have these, I play the Ozolith with Resolves. I have a lot of enablers and I don't have a million lands, but they just look for the Mystic Sanctuary, get back their Braid. And yeah, Braid is pretty strong against us, of course. They play the Teferi, plus I think they will just ride this Teferi to victory. It actually will draw them a lot of cards. And I keep on drawing lands. I have 8 lands into play. I decide here, okay, let's go for an Inkmoth kill. That's my only out, I think. I mean, at this point, I have 3 cards in hand. One of them is Braid. So I decide to activate the Inkmoth. They will abrade it, but I just wanted to do something, you know. I had 9 lands. I figured that I would not, and I was happy that they let me get the infect poison on them. So this dies, and they feel a ruin my Cavern of Souls, which, well, whatever. I should have maybe put a poison counter on them there, but you know, I have so much mana anyway. And I feel here, okay, I have all my basics out. I drawn like 8 lands or 9 lands, so I'm gonna start drawing good cards. I draw Hardened Scales, which is a great card, don't get me wrong, but yeah. Decided not to pop the Relic there made a mistake, but I really was like wanting to do it in response of a Snapcaster Mage and try to get this Abrade out of the field as well. That 3 poison, I'm like still like maybe believing. So they return the Hardened Scales, they draw a card. Funny how many cards this fairy draws. Here I decide to exile the graveyard because I get the second Abrade, and I draw another line and Hangarback Walker. But without animation module right now, and with the fairy there, Hangarback Walker doesn't seem so strong. And I decided to play for X equals 2 because I can still play around Mana Leak and I cannot play around Cryptic Command or Armil's Charm or anything like that. So it's just Cryptic. And yeah, game is just getting worse. Any land they draw is another Cryptic in their hand. They could just bounce something else, but I guess they're interested in us not playing the. Here I just had to tag them. I don't know if that's correct. I should tag the fairy, but it's only 1. So I was thinking if I roll 1 and they plus it, it's like the same, right? So I tried to play Throne of Geth here. It's taking me a long time. I played results, but yeah. The plus again, very hard to deal with the fairy there. No scales, you know, it's kind of, we drew the cards in like the wrong order this game. We drew all lands first, then all enablers, and we never saw threats. So, and yeah, well, we drew, so we had some threats in our opening hand, but yeah. Here I think they Army's Charm and draw 3 cards. Or not, they just decide not to. They pass the turn again, so it's just going longer and longer. And I know I tend to kind of be too slow in these matches, so I don't know why I didn't Throne of Geth to put them a counter on, but I just decided, you know, we're not gonna win this. They can bounce the Throne of Geth, they can counter it later, they have 5 cards in hand, so I decided to just pack it up with only 15 minutes left in the clock, a bit ahead on clock, and going into a game 3 with a bit better idea. So here I cut the Dismembers and I kept only the Gemrazer. That's why it's important to have like a plan when you're playing. You know, think about what's going on, not just follow blindly a sideboard guide. Because, yeah, I had to play the Ozolith and the Inkmoth. And the reason I'm playing the Inkmoth turn 1 is because it could be that it's a good idea to go for a turn 2 poison counter. That was my plan at least, but I didn't want to do it against fetch land. So yeah, this, I don't know what I do. Yeah, I play the Ballista to kind of try to get removal out of their hand. It resolves, so, I mean, they probably had a counter there, a mana leak, kind of telegraphed it by, yeah, I sacrifice, and actually, yeah, I sacrifice to get an extra counter on the Ozolith. The thing is fine. Now here they miss a land drop, so I'm like, okay, I think I said to play the work. No, I said to Ancient Strings. Interesting. Probably would not do that. But yeah, I don't like this series of play. I think it would have been better to Ancient Strings and Worker. But yeah, whatever. And then we could even Inkmoth. But they just path the Ravager. I would have rather they path the Worker. So yeah, but I got the land anyway. I felt like, you know, them being stuck on lands, having mana advantage could come a long way. We already had 2 enablers. And that's sure enough, we draw the animation module. And they braid the Ozolith, which sucks, but whatever. We play the Worker, we make a servo. Do I make a servo? No, I don't make a servo, because I want to hold on this. Play the Summer, which I'm sure that at this point they know we have. But I didn't want them to like steal my animation module with Armige's Charm or something like this. So it's basically, I know they have it, and you know I have it, but I still don't want them to just cast their spells, right? So this is kind of holding their counter spells back. End of turn, I sacrifice the Darksteel Citadel, get a counter. It gets bolted in response, which sucks. But I decided to take a risk and try to move the counters over the Arcbound Worker. So we get a 3/3 Worker, and hopefully we speed up the clock. And then yeah, as you can see, I'm going again for an Inkmoth kill. I've been doing those a lot lately in this matchup. As you see, it's a pretty good draw. At this point, I decide, okay, man, I'm gonna go attack, and if they have a path, I can just, yeah, I can sacrifice the Inkmoth Nexus, and if they don't have a path, then I can always sacrifice the Darksteel Citadel and proliferate to get it out of bolt range. And then here they could have stolen my Inkmoth Nexus. I know they can't because it's a land. Anyway, that's true. But they could have drawn 2 cards. So I decided to sacrifice at the end of turn, proliferate the Inkmoth. But I know they have a Braid in hand. Oh no, they have Path in hand. So I decided not to turn on my Inkmoth Nexus and get it Path. Hard to see all these things going on, I know, but trust me. Trust me. So there are 6 counters at this point, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play the Ravager, tap the Inkmoth because I don't plan on activating it anyway, and I'm gonna make a servo. If they wanna path it, well, there's one land we get out of the. I don't know what's going on. We play. I was like in the tank, I guess, here for a bit. See my time go down. And yeah. They had 6 poison. At some point, I think here probably I should not have played the Ravager, should just given them a poison counter with animation module. I would have been a better play. Speed up that clock. Like basically, it's if we are able to, you know, we put a counter this turn, put a counter next turn. Okay, this bugged out, or I'm just still thinking. Yeah, I went on the deep down in the tank here. I don't know if I can just. I don't know what these buttons do really. Man. Okay, did I make it? Did I make a decision? No, opponent is on the tank in this case. Okay. Hello, so yeah, you can see me. I just got the here. So I'm looking at the recording now. Yeah, basically here the mistake was to try to make a servo. I should just put in a counter. Just put in a counter on them, an animation module. They will be at 6. Then here instead, I here play a Ravager. No, I play Hardened Scales. I would have done the same, you know, just get the. I wanted, I guess, to make a servo to get something to sacrifice to. I guess that's fair, but I could always make it later. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, that's 7 poison counters. We played that Ravager. It got finally. We didn't even get to play the Ravager. Okay, here we are. So, why is it so slow? Anyway, it's so strange what's happening. But anyway, I attack. Yeah, right. I get them some poison. They draw cards. We saw that. Proliferate. And at the end of the turn, I give them a counter. I make a servo. So yeah, attack with a servo, keep up 3 mana to give them the poison with animation module, and I keep the Veil of Summer up. Yeah, they Mystic Sanctuary for a Braid. They should have gotten a Braid last turn. Like if they had gotten a Braid instead of Path, we could have. I'm gonna get them steam myself there. It's kind of. I'm here. I'm probably complaining about Mystic Sanctuary. You should. No, it's okay. Whatever. Who cares? We can beat them, but makes the game harder for sure. I don't think that card should be fetchable. It shouldn't be fetchable. If it wasn't fetchable, it would be a fine card. It would probably not. It would even be played. You know, it's a pretty damn good card anyway. It's like 3 Snapcaster Major. We proliferate here. We give them the poison, and I think here I make a servo as a mistake. I know they braid animation model response, and then I give them the counter. So yeah, I don't make a servo. So now there are 8 poison counters. And yeah, just play Llanowar Reborn for, you know, just to have it out of there. Just in case we could proliferate it against some counters, who knows. So basically we're 2 Throne of Geth activations away from winning the game at this point. I'm there like taking a deep breath. I can see, you know, this thing I do when I'm like, oh my god. Seems tense. This takes a while. I think opponents use deep on the tank. This side eventually do nothing. No, they cryptic me. Yeah, so they cryptic command me at this point. I'm like, okay, this Veil of Summer has been sitting in my hand for 8 turns, but it's the time they shine, right? So we play the Veil of Summer. They still draw a card though. They have to know what they used because motherfucking art doesn't allow you to see what did they use, but they used the Veil of Summer. Sorry, they used draw. I guess. Drew a card. They have an abrade, so they can abrade. No, they don't have an abrade. Actually, they have a path to exile. So now I can fill over in my Inkmoth Nexus, but what I decided here is like, okay. So I will activate it, right? I activated it. We're playing it with itself, I guess. Now if they try to fill over in it, I can activate it again. It's beautiful. If they don't fill over in it, I just sacrifice it. So here I sacrifice it. I get priority finally. I mean, this is a cost. The only thing that saved them was a braid, and I think they only ran 2. So I was like, here, you know, I finally get to sacrifice it, right? They decide to not do anything again. They're really in the tank. So we proliferate them. They go down to up to 9. So yeah. And probably you can see we will untap here and we win the match, kind of anticlimactically. Yeah, we just sacrifice the Throne of Geth to itself. And actually, I didn't bring in. I got one Throne of Geth the game 2, and maybe that was a mistake because poison. The poison was strong in this one, and I got happy. You can see they're smiling. Yeah, those are the games that you got to see, but you didn't get to hear yesterday. Today, yeah, here I'm celebrating. Shit. So yeah, today you got to hear my thoughts on the games and kind of play them. It's quite tiring, honestly, but yeah. I hope you enjoyed this part of the video, and I'm gonna see you next for round 3. Quick interlude. I know you're not subscribed to me for this, but yeah, I'm just eating a massive bowl of salad right now. You can see here, and it's a super healthy salad. Like I recommend you all guys try to eat a bit healthier. The other thing I do other than videos and working is normally to train. I made this salad with this yogurt. I'm not sponsored or anything, I hope, but it's like low-fat yogurt, and it's a good alternative. It's just like a little tip: instead of using like dressings, just buy some like plain low-fat yogurt. This is called skyr, whatever. And make your own dressing. Add whatever you like on it: spices, salt, pepper. Add a bit of olive oil. Have a low-fat, high-protein dressing instead of like the crap they sell in the shops. Anyway, I'll devour this, and I'll be here with you for round 3. Hello everyone, welcome to round 3. Enough of nutritional tips. Do I like this like this? I think I like the chat. Show the chat, and I like also the game log. And it's perfectly aligned, almost. Oh boy, I'm becoming known. I'm Mr. Ravager now. Holy crap. I guess this hand is okay. I don't know what I'm playing against. Hopefully not, not the mirror. Look at the hand. Oh no. You spotted team. Island. Pass. All covered. So that's probably banned. Should we try? No. Pass the turn. Spellspears? No. Who plays Spellspears in this time? Oh. Spirits? Yep. Playing against the Spiritus. That's not an easy matchup. And I don't have a great hand to do with that. Okay. Their Ozolith sucks a bit, to be honest. I think, getting a Crystalline Giant to fly would be a good way to go about this. I'm just gonna play a Hangarback Walker, unless I can attack or something. Having a Ballista here would mean that we could actually just kill both of those, and I would do it. So that's probably Spellqueller. They're representing it. Which kind of blocks. Ballista, yeah. But this is a Spellqueller like, if I ever seen one. So it's gonna play the Ancient Steerings, see if they take the bait. 3 Ozolith. Oh, this is the 4th. That's a Ravager, that's a Cavern, Steel Overseer. I don't dislike Steel Overseer becoming Spellquellet. But how can we can't really get it back easily? Yeah. I just play a Ravager and hope they don't have it. I'm just gonna get the Ravager. That was Mr. Maybe been suggested. Yeah, 2 dead draws here. That's a spell. Sure. Pass the turn. This is not looking good. This matchup is not easy. Because everything flies, and I think we're not that great against tempo decks. Types that both attack us and disrupt us. They're hard. And they're Dr.Queller. So they know what they're doing, and we are pretty much dead at this point. 2, 3, 7. I mean, we need a miracle to win this game. We didn't get a good hand against Dr. Queller, but I mean, yeah, I think it was a decent hand. We also had 2 Ozolith. They can counter spell. Yeah, we just rough, rowdy rough. Inside. What's good against? They play Ether Bile. Dr. Queller, 5-over. Oh, do they play Band or do they play... I guess it's Azorius. They play Force of Negation, apparently, which we don't really care about. Ashok, rest in peace, Lofty Denial. The Beauty of the Tension. So these members come in. Yeah, Animation Module is absolutely worthless against them because they cannot block anything. I think I like Steel Overseer on the play. They have Path, but okay. Enemy is also good. We're gonna go to the board fast. But Crystalline is... I like Gemrazer because also it has reach, so we can actually block their creature. And it can destroy Aether Vials. I like the Gemrazer. And what else I like? Maybe we could cut a land. Sounds risky. I don't think Veil of Summer is that worth it. Or is worth it at all. Maybe like this. Why not change it? Just thinking about the 3rd gen. I think 2 Gemrazers is the 4-mana spell anyway. Let's try it. Let's try if the Gemrazer can carry us. Yes, I like to play first. Oh. 2 Thrones of Geth. I mean, they start with Vial, it's really good. Is it too slow this game? We have Ravager, we have Gemrazer. This could be a grindy matchup if we survive the initial onslaught. I'm gonna start with Ancient Stirrings. Not the best turn 1 play, but looking for land basically. Cavern could be good. Darksteel Citadel could be good, but Cavern it's nice because it allows us to cast both the Gemrazer and the Arcbound Ravager without being countered. So I'm gonna get the Cavern. They play some amount of counter spells. Let's see, they play the Vial, probably gonna play Arcbound Ravager. They play Vial, yeah. They choose Spirits, what a surprise. That's Ether Vial, cool. So the plan is we're gonna play a Ravager and then we're gonna play a Gemrazer on top of it. Or better off. On top or below? We play the Worker. Not reveal the Cavern of Souls and then play Gemrazer next turn. I don't use my mana so effectively though. But I mean, I think I kind of like the idea of having 5/5 with reach in this matchup. And then we don't lose a point of life. Am I recording? I was like kind of paranoid about not recording, and I was not paranoid enough about my mic apparently. And then we can save the Ravager for another use, for another day. I don't like that. We can always put it on the bottom. Also play Throne of Geth, and next turn we play Throne of Geth, and next turn play Worker and Ravager and proliferate everything. But yeah, I like this line, so I'm gonna play the Worker. And then if they path it, that's kind of bad. So if they path it in response, but they cannot path with Cavern of Souls. And if they, I don't know what kind of other ball they could have. Oh wow. So I guess that worked out. That worked out. So I'm gonna play a Cavern and name Beast. And cast with Mutate. Non-human. green, and green. And now it's uncountable. They cannot do anything. This can only... Oh, they could have Dismember. Do they play Dismember? Yeah, the Gemrazer will kill the Vial and they're on one land, on the one land plan. So we can put it over, I think. That will be the way to go. And it still actually has the modular. Okay, he has one. Spirit, he has a Mausoleum Wanderer. Yep, but we destroy this. We have a 5/5. And then next time we can play both Ravager and Throne of Geth. Yeah, so they are on the one land plan with Vial. So yeah. That's good, that's good. I mean, they have a lot of 1-drops with that one land. They just concede. Alright. Alright. 2 fast games here. Yeah, Dismember is great. I think Gemrazer is really good actually in this matchup. This is the fact that it flies. You know, I really hated drawing the 2 Throne of Geth. And I think Gemrazer has more utility. The Throne of Geth is so good. I like it like this. I think I like it just like this. Maybe I could see myself cutting an Ozolith. They're a bit slow to start, and they don't have much removal. They play path, they do have removal. I mean, well, Steel Overseer, is that too slow? For this. On the draw. We may like to have like Torpor Orb good. What like enter the battlefield makes it happen. So they have Phantasmal Limits. But now I started a new build. Do I like it like this? What about Steel Overseer? That's my thing. I mean, they don't have that ways to remove it. They only have like 4 paths to exile, and this is a prime target for it. So, all right, let's run it back. Not liking is, I think, yeah, Zero Spirits is a pretty hard. It's fast. It's fast. Scales gonna make this hand for Ozolith. So we have some good turn 1 plays. We do Cavern of Souls again. We don't play counter spells, so it doesn't matter. They choose Spirits again. And they play a Mausoleum Wanderer. Okay, so they can sacrifice it to stop an ancient. Good. I'm just gonna play a Forest. Just afraid of them having path to it. I'm not even sure if I want to. All the lords cost 3 mana. So I guess I could always react to the lord being cast with the Ballista. We get 1 point of damage, that's fine. Mutavault. So they don't have Path to Exile available. Souls. Fuck. Guess we just go for it. Play the Inkmoth. One Metallic Mini. Main construct. Play the Hangarback Walker first because it's like the worst of the 2 constructs. And we're gonna play this as well. I'm not gonna shoot this now. They do nothing with their mana. Mutavault. I didn't know they played Mutavault. What is this? Ah, I've seen this card before. It's like your card from your graveyard, create a spirit. Gotta keep that in mind. They don't have blue and white. So they almost have only... They could have a Flash Lord that comes in with this. What could it be? What Flash creature? They have Spellqueller and Rattle Chain. Okay, they're casting an Ether Vial. I guess they just drew this. So they can get us with Rattle Chain. This is a 2/1. So they cannot Spellqueller us. They couldn't actually Spellqueller us, in fact. Choices here. We want a Throne of Geth. We could Throne of Geth, and then we could start putting this up. Like messing with this. And they put a counter on. We can Ravager. Then Throne of Geth the turn after. I mean, yeah, I think I like. So yeah, I'm gonna play the Throne. Gonna attack. Pressure. Next time we have Ravager, we can put a counter over here. Okay, I'm actually kind of fine. See who they block. Can sacrifice. Actually, I didn't really think about it. Can you shoot this down? Ballista. It's not lovely though. I will lose a Ballista no matter what. Can shoot this down. You're willing to sacrifice a land is that they have more lands. We shoot that one. 3. I don't know, actually maybe that attack was not a... Maybe just attack with a Mimic. A 4 lands. No spells played. Now they can actually Queller us. Oh, land. I'm gonna play this Ravager. I'll play the Ravager. I want them to Spellqueller first, I guess. We have 3 Dismembers in our deck. Blue, that's Spellqueller. Yep. Like this. I'm not gonna draw. I'm probably just gonna put counters on the Hangarback Walker. I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna proliferate this until I get it. They get it to 3. Or maybe I can do it in the end step. It's sacrifice the Inkmoth. Sounds kind of bad to sacrifice an Inkmoth, but we have so many lands. Just want to be able to put this at 4. They have no 4 mana spells. Need to be careful with that Mutavault. The pain costs. Okay, make the vault a creature. Sagas with both Mutavault, so they can have Spirit of 2 mana. To be Selfless Spirit. And they can have Phantasmal Image, which do it, I guess. And of course, just block here and force them. Like, what can they have that is not a favorable trait? Playing this mimic for this Mutavault. For me, I just take that. I have a lot of life. I'll take this. Let them do the move. Make the move. Play Waterlogged Groove. So let's fall on a counter here. They path it. Don't want land, don't want to sacrifice. Kind of like here. Great. File this. They could get a 3-drop now, which would be pretty bad, but Scales. Okay, we can start by drawing a card with the Nurturing Peatland. On the forest, Jesus. Draw card. I should just turn this. Play the Scales. Play on a Nurturing Peatland, I guess. Oh, rough game, man. It's like it was really bad, that attack on the Mutavault with the Ballista. Not Flooded Strand, 3 cards in hand. We're both flooding a bit, I think. There's a lot of lands. Oh, now they can still. They have a creature? Yeah, they can actually start making spirits. Very good for them. I don't think this guy has been a relic or something like that. With these at 3 counters, I mean, we're able to find any threat at all. And B counter, a space you control get +1/+1. Dismember is also good draw to kill this. They still could have another spell queller. Oh, I wish I had mana. Okay. Let's see if they don't have it. Oh, I have another spell queller. Damn it. Damn son. I already paid the life. This is lethal? Almost. Got it. Sometimes opponents will have it. Still not lost yet. I think of Walking Ballista could get us there maybe. I can activate the Inkmoth and block one creature. Damn it, man. I had the second spell queller. That was so bad, that attack with the Ballista. Just imagine we had a Ballista this whole time. Yeah, well, sometimes you lose because you misplay. And it's the best losses, actually. If you think about it, what would you rather do? Like, lose because of luck or lose because of misplays? Misplays. So, I mean, this was an obvious misplay because I went into a mutable that was like, there. So you can go into the other. There's 6. You can still block one. Need to draw like the gods. Actually, I don't even know. We drew a lot of lands, eh? We drew 7 lands. But also drew a lot of lands. They drew 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1 land less. I think that's kind of came down to it. If this spell queller was a land, we would have won. Because we were on a Ravager back. Then we can threaten like an Inkmoth kill very easily. Actually, we could get the Ravager back, activate the Inkmoth, and threaten a kill right away, right? So they had to block. Okay, they make the Motorbolt. Yeah, Aspiration mode a bit here. I mean, they attack, they go into red zone, I'm guessing. So this is, so I need to block everything. So this, and they have a path from there. No. They block here. This one can block here. And this one can block here, so we take only 3. Okay. I'm guessing I'm going to sacrifice, for example, there's one counter. Another line. GG! Ah, that attack on the Ballista, on the Mutable lost us again. Alright, that was round 3, and I'll see you tomorrow for round 4 and 5.